How's it going, everybody? I think nothing's going to happen today. What do you think? Because over where Trump is, it's already the next day. Yeah. So, uh, and I'm glad nothing happened. Let's face it. I'll never be ready for the end of the world. But I want you to look at something that I found out. The book of Revelation talks about the Antichrist rising from the pit only two places. 11:7 and 17:8 speaks about the beast that ascendeth or riseth out of the bottomless pit. Well, y'all remember that Earl's number 2 and God is 7154 and 7154 times 2 was that 14308, right? And you times that by my number, you've got both. You got 11:7 and 17:8 right at the very front. Now you do have a May 4th in there, don't you? Look, we're at that flower full moon time. Okay. Going down on the 3rd, rising on the 5th. That was my big theory. 5th third bank, you name it. It was there. 56 videos, I think, strong. The most stuff I'd ever seen. If nothing goes down in the next day or two, and we just keep on going with our lives, I think I'm going to quit all of their predictive programming because unless it's the blue moon. Now, on that blue moon, I turn exactly 22,700 days, and my Mayday friend turns exactly 14,000 days old on the blue moon. And the blue moon, as I've shown you many times, is heavily featured in iPad Goat right there in the background of Lily, where it says Trump exit. And I'll tell you another way to look at it, if you wanna. When you go to that room, if you're doing geometry, it's like boom, boom, boom. Because this is in the middle. And this is 2 heads to the right is the blue moon, and 2 heads to the left is the exit, and there's Trump. So if you're doing some mathematical geometry, the blue moon is big because those are moons and they've got craters in their heads. And you're like, well, there's 12 of them, but there's 13 moons this year. Well, Lily does represent the 13th full moon. She's got it in her hand. She's got the flower full moon. Now, I'll tell you what's interesting about this. When you go to the flower full moon and add exactly 11/7 days, 117 days, it lands right on the blue moon, which would be the rising of the Antichrist, which means he's got to go down August 28th. So I'll start looking at that. But that's Lou's predictive programming. I mean, we got to dig deep for that one. Do we not? From the flower full moon to the blue moon, which that's Lily sitting there with the flower full moon, and you see the blue moon, the 2 heads that are connected. That's the August moons. There's 2 of them. That's exactly 11/7 days, 117 days. But I'm going to, in my own world, in my own mind, I'd love to share it with you here and there. But I think I'm going to go more toward personal ciphers. I got hit in the right eye by a paper airplane. That date is marked. All of these things I don't think I'm going to worry about too much anymore, but my personal ciphers, I think those are the ones I'm going to really stick with. 2 of them are right eye wounds that I had. I had 2 friends that died early and young, both born on 11/17. I had another friend that sat next to me at one of the 11/17's funeral who was born on 9/11. And the other 11/17 that died young was sitting on the other side of me. I remember I did a video where I went in there and showed you all of their death stuff, funeral write-ups, all kind of stuff. And it's interesting. And yeah. But I'm going to tell you something else that's fascinating that I'm going to start using, and I'm going to start leaning on a little bit heavier as a cipher. Now, y'all know the deal about my birthday and a birthday of somebody I was married to. Our combined number times each year has a mathematical anomaly of 16 years of rotating the middle digits. It was 627, 127. This goes on to infinity. Well, this year, 2020, she and I times this. Now that's my year, 7 times 6 times 1961 times hers, 10 times 28 times 1973. Our combined number is 455,000. Well, that gives you Trump's number 45, followed by a 500, which is Antichrist in Strong's Concordance. That's our combined number. Begins with 45500. It's the first 5 digits. And you have a 6-3 in our combined number. So June 3rd is approaching. Could he go down on June 1st? I don't know that either. And she and I's combined number, there's an 801 for the first of the 2 moons in August. August 1st is a moon, but there's that 54. That was in the other number I showed you. That, began with 11/17 and 17/8 fused together. That had a 54 in it. And there's also a 54 in our combined number times this year. But this other one, this other cipher I want to look at that's personal, was my Mayday friend and I. When she turned Trump and I's combined number, that's Trump. He's got the 63 in his number too, doesn't he? That June strawberry moon, I think it's June 2nd. Hold on, May 5th, then it's June 4th, then July 3rd. It is June 4th. That'd be interesting. Times my number. My Mayday friend turned that many days old. First 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number. 33 days later, I turned that many days old. The next 5 digits of Trump and I's combined number. Fusing she and I together, right in the middle, is 322. As a 1968 on one side, which was the 2 big assassinations of Martin Luther King and RFK, Robert F. Kennedy. Fake assassinations, maybe. So I started tracking. Well, first 5 digits March 11th, 2022. 33 days later, I turned that many days old, April 13th. Well, 33 days after that was the total solar eclipse. So that was 33 and 33 and 30. Well, it was 33 and 33 and 30. It was 33 and 33 days apart. They're all separated by 33s. And so I started tracking that. Now it's going to hit on May 14th, June 16th, July 19th, August 21st, September 23rd. But my favorite, this one here, October 26th. If he goes down on October 26th, he would rise on the third day of October 28th's full moon. And I tell you something else, people. October 26th is when Donnie Darko was released, and October 26th is when Skyfall was released. So keep your eyes on that one, as it's 7:27 IPEC Goat's Length PM. So, yep, I am going to really be looking at the blue moon and then this October moon. It still fits perfectly with that timeline that I'm thinking about Abomination of Desolation at the total solar eclipse in April 8th of next year, which is 4/8. April 8th, 4/8 is the date, and 48 is Trump in Gematria. I believe it's full reduction. So that's big. And so is Groundhog Day in 2024. We know all about that, don't we? From the movie and my divorce date. That's part of that 33 progression. And so is the total solar eclipse of April 8th of next year. This is big stuff. So that 33 day thing that started, which is a mathematical anomaly like you just wouldn't believe, for that to be Trump and I's combined number, and my Mayday friend turned that many days old, the first 5 digits, on March 11th, 2022. And 33 days later was the 10-year anniversary of when the Lord pulled me out of the world. That's when I stopped. It was April 12th. It's when I stopped, or April 13th is when I stopped the astrology and stopped the Catholic Church, April 13th, 2012, from watching the Know Your Enemy series. I remember the date because Facebook reminds me every year. And Facebook memory. And also 33 days after that was a total lunar eclipse. So the Lord told me definitely through all of those shenanigans to, shouldn't say shenanigans, but through that to start tracking it. So I'm going to start leaning more heavily into my personal ciphers. My right eye wound is it was on May 1st. So we'll move that one to in June. And May 19th. Now, those are 37 progressions, but I would love to just take a look at. They occurred 130 days apart, 187 on the minutes, 187-200. I just came home and told y'all about getting hit right in the right eye by a paper airplane. That it just sort of stuck there. It seemed like it just was suspended in air or sticking straight out for like a solid second before it drooped. Did not hurt my eye. And but y'all did see the blood and all that when I ran into that gate. I opened the gate and started walking, but the gate hit my foot. So it did not go past me, and I walked right into it and cracked my head open. Made a video immediately because it was my right eye and it was bleeding. And so that was the 26th of last year, April 26th. Now, I'll tell you what's weird about this is if you include both dates, it's 503 days on 5/3. Well, on 5/4, it's going to be 504 days. So it's the amount of days on the date when the paper airplane hit my right eye. And that's going to run all the way through. What would that run through? 5/30 all the way through 5/31. Then it'll go to 5/32, but the date will be January 1st. So every single day in this month, when you include both dates, when I got hit in the right eye by that paper airplane, it gives the literal date. That is crazy. Okay. And if we run that, let's click off the date and just run it to the August 30th. Blue moon, it's 621 days. Whoa. I cannot even begin to tell you what that number means, but I am not going to go there here with y'all. It's too personal. 88 weeks, 5 days. That's just crazy. If y'all knew what I knew, and I guess can't tell you, so let's just move on. And then let's run it to, well, the right eye wound, though, would have to be run to the 28th, not the, so that's 68, 680 days. I'm sorry. Let's go back to August. 619 days of the right eye wound before the blue moon. 619 days. And if we run it through October 26th, which also is a direct hit. Sorry, I was daydreaming. 678. 678 days. 1 year, 10 months, 9 days, 119. Now I want to go to the other date of when I got right eye popped. 4/26. 548 days. Let's go to August 28th. 489 days. And then let's just go to tomorrow. 3773, 373 days. Be 374 on the flower full moon. Remember 37, and the next progression of 37 is 74, and it's a combo, 374 days on the flower full moon. That flower full moon is nuts. Yeah, that's when Obama's eyes got big, when that flower bloomed. And he started sweating. What in the world's going to happen on Friday? Okay. On the flower full moon, it's 374. Let me run it to the other one, the December 17th. 504. 374 and 504. $2096 in the hours, and that's Eve in Strong's Concordance. Eve is 2096. In the Hebrew, it's in Strong's, it's 2332, 2332. But Eve, it was mentioned in the New Testament. So if you look up her Strong's Concordance number, it's 2096. That is in the hours. Is that the eve of when he gets popped? Is he going down on May 6th? UFC 288, Kentucky Derby, View to a Kill, all about horse racing. And then he would, the book of Revelation would be open on May 8th when Earl died. If you include both dates, that's what it does. It jumps to that. That would mean he would go down on the 6th. 1 year, 4 months, 20 days, 420 coded. In the hours, you have 121:44. You have Antichrist 121 fused with 144, which is the Antichrist job to cleanse the church. Then you come over here. Let's go back and key in the other date of April 26th. It's 376. If you include both dates, 1 year and 11 days, 12 months and 11 days, 375 if you don't, 12 months, 10 days, or 121 Antichrist, of course. Even 9,000 hours, and even 540,000 minutes. If he goes down on the full moon, then he doesn't rise through a full moon. That's just all there is to it, like iPet Goat showed us. He would go down the day after the flower full moon. I don't know. That's it. Christian had some comments. And I think I probably said something about them, so that means they disappeared. But he had some awesome stuff to talk about. You got to look at the names of these horses for the Triple Crown. So you can read his comment there at Trump to Ireland, Scotland, one last overview. I don't know if you saw this morning. I suppose there's an assassination attempt on Putin, Christian had said. And there's a video showing a drone flying over a building with a round top. First thing I thought of was the scene from iPet Go with those 3 bombers and smoke rising on the top. Today is 5/3. I said, yeah, good stuff, brother, from my other channel I was logged into. I said, thank you. Today's the big day, LOL. But hey, nothing's happened. And so y'all know where I'm at. I'm tracking that 33 progression. I'm looking at the dates and my second wife and I's combined number times the year. I'm looking at Trump's number, 163,464. There is a full moon on 6/4. Now there's another full moon on July 3rd, which is when iPet Goat posted their video on YouTube. And July 3rd is also the beginning of Sirius, the dog star beginning the dog days of summer going dormant. And lastly, July 3rd is the release date of Back to the Future. So I don't know. It's kind of back exciting again doing a video because I just haven't been excited just because I was just so locked into this date. I really had nothing more for it. I had everything for it. I had iPet Goat. But onward we move. Now there is that movie Tenet where they move backwards and forwards through time. And that's how you could have him going down 2 days after the flower full moon and then going backwards through time per Christopher Nolan's movie Tenet, where you would back up and rise to the flower full moon backwards. I don't really even know what that means. Did that make sense? But so instead of dying on the 3rd and rising on the 5th, you would die on the 7th and rise on the 5th, going backwards through time. That's the only other option I've got. And I don't know why Christopher Nolan made that movie Tenet. It was the weirdest, dumbest movie I'd ever seen in my life. All right. Love y'all. You got the Kentucky Derby on Saturday. You got UFC 288. And you've got the King's Coronation. 3 big events this Saturday. Love y'all.